It was Christmas of 2008 when I received a very special gift, the Nintendo Wii. Now granted, I knew about the Wii's existence 2 years prior, but I never really found it appealing at the time. And at first, I didn't really like it. But then I discovered the Me channel, and that's when I was introduced to the Me's. Being able to make fictional characters that look like me absolutely blew my mind back then. And I eventually started liking the console, which inspired me to create a YouTube channel that people care about for some reason. I also received 2 games that came with the Wii. The first was Wii Sports, a game that doesn't need any introduction. When I played it for the first time, I loved it, and to this day, I still have a blast playing it. It's a Wii classic. The other was Wii Play, a minigame compilation which at first I didn't really like from the box art alone until I played it, where I absolutely fucking hated it. It wasn't just the minigames that were bland and uninteresting. It was the terrible controls that pissed me off the most. With only 2 games and 0 internet, I didn't really have that many options after I was done with Wii Sports. So naturally, I would switch to Wii Play. And the more I played, the more the game pissed me off. For years, I've called Wii Play the worst video game I've ever played. No other game has ever took its place. The closest was Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, which we can all agree sucks. While I can't say that Ultra Smash is the worst Mario game I've ever played, I can never bring myself to put it below Wii Play. Yes, I hate the game that much. So when I asked around for other opinions, I quickly learned there were a complete far cry from my opinions.
For my opinion on Wii Play, let's say it's kind of like a challenge. It's hard to get platinum, but the controls on this game is kind of hard for me to point the Wii remote to the TV, and for the sensor bar, it needs to be perfect.
Well, not as good as Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort. I still like this game. It's pretty fun, and I remember playing this a lot when I was younger.
While I respect their opinions, I never found myself describing the game as challenging or fun. In fact, the only word I could think of is shovelware. Shovelware trash dumped right onto the Wii. 17 years. It has been 17, almost 18 years since I played Wii Play for the first time. And needless to say, I'm pissed. Anger, just any type of negative trait you could think of, I think of Wii Play. I can never, and I will never forget my first ever experience. And every time I play this game now, I always think about my first experience. Every time I'm on the internet, I want to make fun of this game every second I get. But then I heard this comment.
To begin with, before talking about the game itself, I wanted to say that I also had this game since I was a child, and I actually did have fun playing it in general. Of course, not every single mini games in this game were perfect, and there were some of them that I did not like at the time, but that did not affect too much my opinion as a whole. Overall, it is a very mid-Wii game. I would say probably lower than average, but in its defense, you can see this game as a demo, like CD demo game for the PS1, an introduction to the Wii console and its controller, a game that present to you the Wii remote and the nunchuck. The main purpose to this game was to show how the Wii remote works. How do you use the motion control? How to correctly point at the screen. You get the idea.
And it got me thinking, maybe I'm being too harsh on the game. You know, I was 7 at the time, and you know, my experiences with video games was not as big as it is now, so Maybe I was wrong. Maybe my hatred was unjustified. Maybe, just maybe, there are actually worse games out there. So, today, I think it's time I give this game the proper playthrough it deserves. Alright, let's do this. I am gonna have a great time. I went up! I went up! What? I'm going up! What the fuck? I'm fucking loading over! What? So around May of 2024, I hit 700 subscribers. And on my 700 sub special, I decided to record the entirety of We Play. In the end, I threw the game in the trash. A couple days later, I made a community post explaining the reasons why I hate this game. Both the post and the video have been taken down because it's just not enough. I can't just play through an entire game, no commentary, throw it away, and then make a community post. I need words. I need to get my feelings out in the open so I never have to play the game again. I need to explain to the world why I think this game is a big pile of filth. And that's exactly what I plan on doing today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you We Play. The worst video game I've ever played. When you start We Play for the first time, you see a welcome screen. And this is where the problems start. The minigames are locked, and by completing one minigame, you unlock the next minigame, or stage. And for each stage unlock, you get some corny sentence. And this goes on and on and on and on and on until you get to the final stage. I'm going to talk about the problems right now. First, stages. Why are minigames referred to as stages? This isn't a fucking adventure game. This is a minigame compilation. And second, why are the minigames locked? What, are they that complicated that this game warrants an intro just so we can learn how to play? This ain't treat us like we're idiots. Like we just don't even know how to use a Wii remote. That is crazy. Imagine if Wii Sports did that. Yeah, Wii Sports had this welcome to Wii Sports screen. All the other sports are locked except for tennis. And then you have to actually play tennis. And after you're done with tennis, then you have to move on to baseball, the bowling, golf, and then finally boxing. You know how dumb that sounds? And I know that training does lock sports. But at the very least, the starter 5 are unlocked. You don't have to actually start off with returning balls and unlock all of them one by one. What a dumb concept. Bottom line, don't lock the mini games. Second, call them mini games and not this stage bullshit. Once you finally get through that ordeal, you get a chance to look at the main menu. And it sucks. The bland colors of orange and lime mixed with white and gray gives off this boring aesthetic. And the character models are just so bad. This is the first game to give me its actual hands and arms, and combine that with the bland NPC colors seen in both the tennis stands and the bowling alley from Wii Sports, plus the weird shading on the models, just dates the game even more. Also, this main menu music is bland and forgettable. For a minigame compilation that's supposed to get me hyped to play, this music is doing the exact opposite, and I'm getting fucking bored just hearing it. Wow, I haven't even talked about the minigames yet, and I already hate this game. But hopefully the minigames are good and are well worth being played one by one, right? And to answer your question, fuck no. Let's talk about shooting range. To shoot, you either press A or B. There are 5 levels, so let's talk about it. Level 1 is shooting balloons, and that's it. Level 2 is shooting targets. The white targets are worth 1 point, the yellow ones are worth 5 points, and the me ones you lose 3 points. And that's it. Level 3 is shooting frisbees. Shoot the ones closest to the screen, you get 5 points, while the further ones are 3 points. And that's it. Level 4 is shooting a can 5 times for some reason. And that's it. And finally, level 5. Clones of your me are getting abducted by UFOs, and you have to shoot them. The gray ones are worth 1 point, and the yellow ones are worth 5 points. And you get rewarded with 10 points for each me you save. And that's some extra stuff to talk about are the ducks that spawn in each level worth 10 points, and the point bonuses for each shot you made that isn't a miss. But aside from that, it's pretty mid. The controls are awkward, with the cursor zipping all over the screen. It's especially hard to get a clear shot, which is seen the most in level 3. Find me. You get an objective at the beginning of each level. Find 2 lookalikes, find 3 lookalikes, find the odd me out, find this particular me, etc. and etc. The locations consist of the middle of the ocean, an escalator, space, stands, you know, from a good game, and crosswalks. Lots and lots of crosswalks. And to spice it up a bit, some of these locations take place in the dark. Oh God, look at how scary this looks. Look, they're standing in the crosswalks, in the dark. Look, they're in the escalators, in the dark. Look, they're in outer space, in the dark. Look, they're in the bleachers, in the dark. Oh, it's all so scary, and damn it, I can't even make this game sound interesting if I tried. What's sad is that this is the only minigame to have functioning cursor controls, and it's the most boring and underwhelming minigame in this entire collection. And yes, even with the terrifying darkness, this minigame serves 0 purpose. Table tennis. Oh shit, is this gonna be like tennis for Wii Sports? Here you are a floating hand holding a paddle with another floating hand in front of a bunch of Kokeshi dolls as you and the other hand play a rally to get to 100 points. You know, I was gonna make a Master Hand joke, but I don't want to disrespect Super Smash Bros. And how you play is so incredibly dumb that I just have to show you. Step 1. Get a Wii Remote. Now, you can basically get any type of Wii Remote. I just have a Wii Motion Plus one. Anyone will do. Step 2. hold the Wii remote like this. Step 3, move the Wii remote like this. You can basically do any speed, but just wave it around like this. And that's it. Now, if you did what I did, congratulations. You just played table tennis from Wii Play. Now, if your immediate response was, well, that wasn't fun. Now you finally get why this minigame sucks. And what's also baffling is that the instructions tells you to actually move your Wii remote in a very exaggerated motion. So, not only do you look incredibly stupid moving it like this, moving it like this, you look like something's wrong with you. You look like you're crazy.
And honestly, I wasn't really good at this minigame back then. While I've gotten better, it doesn't change the fact that this minigame sucks. Seriously? Rallies? Is that the best they could come up with? I don't give a shit that the CPU moves faster every 10 rallies. When I see table tennis, I expect an actual table tennis game, not whatever the hell this is. Also, the music sucks. This is the first minigame to have music, and it's probably the most forgettable soundtrack I've ever heard. Pose me. This minigame just sucks. It sucks so bad that I don't even want to try to explain how it works. What I am going to talk about is 1. This music is very annoying. 2. The controls are fucking horrible. The slightest tilt on the Wii remote causes your Mii to perform a cartwheel. It's especially annoying when it comes to level 9, where the posers are upside down. Technically your Mii is upside down, but in reality you're only holding the Wii remote slightly to the right, awkwardly, complete with the same finicky controls as shooting range. And 3, these visuals. Seriously, stock photos? What kind of drugs were they on when they came up with this stuff? Overall, this is probably the worst minigame in the entire game, which is just amazing. 4 minigames, and all of them are terrible. Man, I don't want to play this game anymore. I want to play something else. No. I can't. I have to keep going. Fuck, I hate this game. Laser Hockey. A game where you get as many points as possible within a time limit. The controls are unsurprisingly bad, probably noticing a pattern here, and the ball's momentum is way too unpredictable, going from slow to fast in a matter of seconds. And the AI is just dumb. I'd rather play Pong from the 70s over this shit. Billiards. There's one fundamental problem that ruins this entire minigame, and it's the system. The game randomly chooses the ball, and you have to hit that ball in the hole in order to progress. If you hit another ball or don't hit any of the balls, it's a foul. But since the physics and the ball's position are based on RNG, most of the time the ball will roll in front of another ball and there's nothing you could do but get a foul, which is bullshit. So yeah, this minigame is completely unfair. Fishing. It's boring and the motion controls only work when they feel like it. Charge. This is the only minigame to have actual motion controls. The goal is to hit the scarecrows and reach the end within a time limit. The main problem is, once again, the controls. While the game is responsive when it comes to the jumping, the turning is sluggish, whether you're moving fast or slow. And the concept of the minigame isn't too bad, until you quickly realize just how fucking boring and frustrating this minigame is. All you do is hit scarecrows while fighting the controls at the same time. Does that sound fun? No. No, it doesn't. Overall, Much like majority of the minigames, the controls and concept prevent this one from being fun. Tanks. Yes, tanks. The most well-known minigame from Replay. You heard of Replay, chances are you heard of tanks. Which means, at the beginning, with that tutorial, you have to play through 8 terrible minigames just to get to that one minigame that's worth a damn. And it's not really worth a damn. You're a blue tank and the objective is to shoot other tanks. To shoot, you press B, and to place bombs, you press A. Although, you barely need to use any of them anyways. And that's the problem. There really isn't any strategy. Just drive, shoot, and dodge any enemy bullets. There might be some strategic moves you have to make in the later levels, but I haven't gotten that far because 1, I hate these dull backgrounds, 2, some of the level design is bad, and 3, the gameplay is boring and gets old fast. Sadly, this is the best minigame, and it's just mid. What a disappointment. Now you may be asking yourselves, is there anything, and I mean anything, about this game that I actually like? And yes, there is. This game isn't completely terrible. There are some parts to this game that I actually like. So, let's talk about them. First is the music. While I have been harsh about it, there are some pieces I like, such as the title screen, table tennis multiplayer, pretty good. Fishing results, only the results. Charge, can't forget about that. And that's second is the player. There's a lot you could do to your Mii. First, by having your Mii follow your cursor. Second, touching Mii and seeing all the different poses. And if you wait on the main menu, your Mii will fall asleep, complete with the music changing. Having 2 Miis on the screen adds to the charm, like watching them fight, or just shove each other. And that's it. That tiny portion that I just went over were the only things I like about this game. And that's not enough. It was never enough. This should have been good. This should have been great. This should have been a Wii classic. But instead, they kept fucking it up. I've never seen a game that actually fuck up this bad than Wii Play. And maybe people will say that this game hasn't really aged that well. But for me, I never liked this game. From the moment I laid my eyes on it to the moment I actually played it. In fact, it's gotten even worse. This is an unplayable mess. A sheer abomination. And a sorry, pathetic excuse of a Wii series game I've ever seen. It is bad. Although, I found a new word to describe this game. Trash. And just like trash, it's time to put this game where it belongs.
just realized I'm a grown ass man that just raged this hard at a Wii game designed for kids. And I don't give a fuck! Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to pour bleach on my eyes. As always, thank you for watching. Middle fingers to We Play.